Welcome to this video about growing a small membership. This is basically a guide to overcoming the membership dip. What is the membership dip? You can see it here on the screenshot. It is this painful phase in the beginning of a membership after you have validated your idea all the way until you have found true scalable product to market fit with your membership. And sometimes this can take relatively long. So here you see from my membership after my initial launch and some momentum with my very first funnel, it took me a year to really dial in product to market fit with my membership messaging and with all front-end offers related towards my membership. So here you can see this is the dip. This is what happens to so many people. So let me ask you a few questions. Are you at this point, you have launched your membership and you have your first members, but you're not having as many members as you hoped for? And this could be that you have just launched your membership and the launch didn't, go as well, or you have launched it a while back and since then you have been what feels really stagnant or maybe even decreasing in your members count. You're not sure how to best engage and retain your current members while also focusing on attracting new members. You feel a little bit at a crossroad and you wonder whether to push or to pivot to something else. You're comparing your progress with other membership sites and you're feeling a little bit disheartened and pressured at this point. And all you want is clarity on the next steps and to figure out how you can get this membership to grow and really solidify your position in the market. Okay, so the first thing you need to do at this point is to please not self-sabotage, because that is something that I see time and time again, and I have made this mistake myself here. I have been a lot in analysis paralysis, and I have taken quite a few shiny object chases in this year, and ultimately this has cost me a lot of growth and momentum. So after the initial launch, after you have first success, no matter how small or big it is, and then that the momentum kind of dies off a little bit, it's so easy to self-sabotage. And here's why. Many people devalue the progress, so entrepreneurs overshadow their actual achievements by comparing their current members count with their expectations. And this overlooks the indication that there is genuine interest for your office, right? So one of the hardest pieces, remember when you started this journey, all you wanted is to find someone giving you money for something you thought has value and you love, right? And then you have this launch and then you have first traction, right? And even if it's just one person that is willing to recommit to you on a monthly basis, that is already a huge achievement. This validation of your idea, of your original first version of your membership is so big, right? And our high expectations can unfortunately make us feel like we have failed or we aren't where we're supposed to be, and that feeling in itself is causing us a lot of energy and a lot of momentum. It leads to us questioning the business model. So very often then next what kicks in is doubts about the efficiency of the current model, and that leads to decisions about pivoting without a comprehensive analysis, right? So what I then see often is people have initial success with their membership, growth stalls a little bit, and instead of figuring out the things that they need to figure out right now, they go back to high ticket coaching. They go back to focusing on one-to-ones, etc. Instead of pushing right now, right? And I'm not talking about the kind of where you need to cross finance for a while. I'm talking about the kind of, oh yeah, it might have been a bad idea anyways, and just abandoning the model altogether. Very often they're in a pricing dilemma, so entrepreneurs consider adjusting the prices either up or down in that moment, right? So they're like, oh, I should maybe lower the cost, which just destroys the perceived value of the membership for the people that signed up, or they are like, oh, like this I will never make ends meet, so I should actually increase the price because I'm delivering so much, and then they want to go up with the price, right? And while those are all understandable considerations, they very often are not born from a strategic place. They're more often just born from a reactive, what can I do, quick fix kind of way, and with that they often sabotage the long-term success of their membership and of their pricing model. Fear of visibility. So often when we have so high expectations about how many people we should have in our memberships, we reduce our promotional efforts because we think, oh, if we only have 10 people in our membership and only 5 people in our higher tier, our membership is not really credible. So we kind of either subconsciously or very consciously shy away from promoting it further because we think that those are not impressive results, right? Or it's not as credible as it should be, when in reality that there are people who are part of the membership is more than enough. And even if you start, it is more than enough. The lack of engagement is very, very often a concern, right? So especially with a new membership where relationships and trust towards you just need to form and where you need to show up consistently and lead and live by example, there very often is a lack of engagement. And that is completely normal because there is fewer interactions just in a new and not established and smaller community, right? So community is something that you cannot force into existence. It's something that needs to grow over time and that can just grow also with your dedication in the community. So what unfortunately entrepreneurs do at this point is that they think, oh, it's not the right thing for a community, or those are just not, I might need a different offer, or community is not for me. And just not knowing that it really takes time until engagement kicks in. And usually you have around 100 people in your membership at a point where you get questions daily. Before that, very often you don't even receive questions daily. And please don't confuse this initial warm-up and a need for growth, a need for nurture, a need for consistency, and you leading by example. Please don't confuse that phase with, I'm not made for a community, or this topic is not made for a community. Very often what also happens is that entrepreneurs that start a membership, they then start to overextend themselves, giving a lot of personalized service to a few members. And then because that's actually very advisable in the beginning to go all in, serving people way beyond what they pay for, to get those case studies, to get those market insights, to get this understanding of how to shape your membership. But the kind of knot that comes up with people in their head is that they think, I always have to serve everyone like that, right? And not understanding that there is a beta phase to a membership where you show up significantly more, but you also get paid with more than that monthly recurring revenue from that specific member. You get paid with the insight in the transformation, what that needs to look like, how you need to talk about it, what solutions you need to further create, what content you need to create for them, right? What front-end products you can create. So basically you overextending there is a way to create outstanding results, case studies, market insight, product ideas, and that's what you get paid for. And of course, as you grow and as you have acquired this understanding, you can scale back on those individualized efforts, right? And that's usually very clearly communicated in a beta as well, when people join as a beta member, that yes, in the beginning you will get the most of attention because we're just starting out and still have that capacity. So that's a really, really good part of the deal. And unfortunately, many coaches forget that it's a part of that deal, of that specific phase, and they think they have to show up like that for every single person forever. And then they know that that's not scalable. And that's when they question the overall model instead of thinking really in seasons for their membership. Very often they're also concerned about asking for feedback, right? So they don't know exactly how to ask for feedback, or they don't ask for feedback because they don't want to receive negative feedback about, it's actually really quiet in the group, or it's not quite what I wanted. So they hesitate to ask for feedback like altogether. And then they're just creating this bubble of isolation around themselves, and they're not really going into communicating with their members. And that often leads to guessing, right? Guessing what I should create next, how I should tweak my messaging, how I should present it. And what they do is they cause a lot of confusion because they go down different unvalidated angles, and it's confusing the members, and it's confusing the market, and it's confusing them a lot, ultimately to the point where they are stuck in complete analysis paralysis. So all of those things lead to either, first, erratic action towards all directions. Then usually, because those efforts are not streamlined and they're not deliberate and they're not measured, it people stop taking action. They kind of are stuck in analysis paralysis. What should I do right now? And that's when they're like, okay, maybe membership is not for me. Maybe I need to try something else. Maybe I need to go back. And the next Facebook ad comes up on their feed and they're like, okay, you know what I actually should be doing? Actually, I should be selling a Go high level white label solution, because that is what what gets people results. Or actually, I should be selling the Master Resell Right course and create viral TikToks around that. So this is typically when they then abandon all their efforts, and often they have been going months towards developing the memberships and getting towards the point where they launch and having those first people in, and then basically they're throwing all of this away, which I think is quite heartbreaking. So what can you do instead? Survey, serve, and scale. You would want to now, in that phase, in that dip phase, focus on relaunching and on self-liquidating offers. So the first thing you need to do is to deliberately debrief your launch. And that means look at your pre-launch content, every single piece of content that you've put out there. Quantify it. How many pieces of content did I put out there? How much reach did those pieces get? How much engagement did those pieces get? Review what you have said. Is that in alignment with your membership? Does that really pay into getting somebody to the point where they understand why they need your membership? So really go into that analysis of, was I present enough in pre-launch? Was I valuable enough? Was I spot on enough with my messaging? And sit down and take that time to really analyze your pre-launch content. What was my warm audience size going into the launch? How many people were there on my email list? How have I been connecting with them? Did they open my emails? Did they click my emails? How many valuable emails did I send them, right? Did I really show up? Did I really nurture them? Was there really a genuine connection? How much reach did all my launch activities in themselves get, right? So all the emails, how many people did they reach? How were they clicked? All the pieces of promotion in the launch, how many unique sales page views? What was my conversion rate on the sales page? So dive into each of those numbers. If you have, like when you're part of our program, you have those benchmark, compare them with benchmark, ask people, and then see what are the weakest links, right? Do I need to work on having significantly more high valuable spot on pre-launch content before? Do I need to increase my audience size, build my email list, send more people pieces more frequently? What did I say in my launch? How can I make that better, right? So really deliberately debriefing it, making your hypothesis about what elements can I improve and how, and then working towards your next launch, optimizing that, right? So I would, right after my first launch, I would directly switch again towards I'm in pre-launch again. And that means consistent content informed by what's happening in your membership. So now you're reporting from the inside out. And those documentation posts that you make about the work, right, that you currently do for your members, that's content. Those story posts, how you feel about setting all of that up and serving. Though this is pre-launch content for your next membership. The small wins, what you're working on today, that's content that goes onto your free social media. And from there, it will pull people that have signed up towards your membership back into your membership and spark engagement inside your membership, counterintuitively and interestingly enough, because the people in your membership, they're just like you. As you execute that membership, they will also fall off, and then they will also go back to social media to consume content. But then you are there with inspiration. Then you are there walking your talk. So of course that will pull them back into the membership. That will make them ask questions about, right, what you're doing. Oh, you're breathwork coach. You have a breathwork membership. You post on your Instagram the breathwork piece that you did on that day, right? The thing you prepared for your members in that regard. It will pull people, your paid members, back into your membership, and yet that is the strongest catalyst for that engagement. So you directly go back in pre-launch, and now you have your content from a lens of reporting from the inside out. Then you want to understand what content needs to be in the membership, so paid content, and conceptualize front-end offers from that, right? So never create content for your membership just as a monthly deliverable. Always create the content that your members need as a standalone front-end offer, and then gift that front-end offer to your members, right? Because in that way, your membership becomes something where they save, because now this is this new, shiny, amazing tool that they want to have. They don't need to buy it because they get it for free in your membership. The value is very differently received as into when you say, oh, I just uploaded a new module, go watch it, because then it just becomes a portion of a membership they're not using anyways. So then it will actually drive them. New content releases can actually drive people to cancel if you don't frame it as valuable enough. And it also has this additional benefit of bringing people in on the front end if you sell it as a self-liquidating offer on the front end. So focus really, really on that. Now, how do you get that? You need to talk with your members. You need to be in there, and in an ideal world, stream co-working, stream what you do, and offer free additional calls to jump on with them, and then ask them questions along those lines of, what specific message or promise convinced you to join the community? Describe a recent challenge you hoped our platform would help you address. Which of our messaging or promotional material resonated most deeply with you? What are the right? And from that, you gain the insight of what worked on the front end, but also what they're expecting inside. What are the top 3 things you hope to achieve and learn with our community? If there's one pain point or obstacle you believe we haven't addressed yet, what would it be? How does your platform messaging align with your current needs or goals? How does our platform's messaging align with your current needs or goals? What kind of content or resource would be a game changer for you right now? Are there specific words or phrases in our messaging that particularly stand out or feel meaningful to you? Which aspects of our platform feel most aligned with your aspirations or growth path? If you could ask us to create one piece of content or solution for a pressing challenge you're facing right now, what would it be? And then read between the lines, right? You will be able to see what people want. You can suggest things, right? Have a real meaningful conversation of what would actually be helpful. Try to identify what problem they have beneath the surface, and then offer a packaged solution for that as your next month's content. Never give just something, say, oh, based on the conversations, I'm thinking about creating this in this kind of way, addressing those pain points I understand you have. What do you think about that? Is that good? Does that need completion? What else would you like to see? And then by the feedback of your community of people, gauge if there's genuine interest. And if there's not genuine interest in that, then move on, don't create it, right? So within that, your small community can also be this pre-selling environment where you gain an idea for what they truly want. So you need to have those conversations, and they will again be sparked by them trusting you, because you are there every single day on your free socials and in the memberships, just walking your talk, just being on that journey, just talking about that journey, helping them, reporting how you helped another member, what came up for you and the member, what did you learn. Really just be there with those conversations, walking your talk, and you will see that the conversations will inevitably happen. Now, as in the frequency and quality of those efforts, it's really amazing if you can add for one new self-liquidating offer per month based on serving that's also your membership content, right? Because we want to use that synergy so you don't burn out. Every self-liquidating offer is also a promotion towards your email list, not email sequence. Sorry. So, get this now or get it for free in the membership. Every self-liquidating offer should be tested with ads, right? After you promoted it towards your members and towards your list, right? So your members should be on your list, and they should know that you're promoting this to others, but they have it for free, again, to anchor that value. Every self-liquidating offer after you got your at least like one sale from the email list, or even if not, should be tested with a conversion campaign directly. And I would allocate a budget from between $50 to $100 to really, really test it. Keep growing your audience with lead generation ads. Stay really, really consistent with your content. And then when your next launch should happen depends on how much you've grown your warm audience, right? So grown your warm audience speaks to audience size and speaks to quality of connection. And it could be as close as 2 to 3 months after the initial launch, right? So in the beginning, in the first year, you can definitely even launch every 2 to 3 months. And I know that that's exhausting, but that's also what we need to really get this momentum, because your community will get more valuable with more people in there. And then you would want to also use every opportunity that you get for organic exposure. So use free Facebook groups where you're allowed to post, participate in bundles, use affiliate opportunities, joint venture opportunities. Everything that you can do in addition to paid ads to grow your warm audience will help. The value of your membership really increases with that size of your membership. Again, that does not mean that a beta membership is not super valuable because of those things that we talked about in the beginning, the added attention and serving people more closely. But as you grow, of course, you don't want to keep stretching yourself so thin that the quality of your membership will increase with the amount of members that are a good fit. I want to close this with insights from 2 books. One is The Dip by Seth Godin. So the membership dip was inspired by this book, right? So the nature of the dip is that every meaningful endeavor faces a period where things get tough, even tougher than you have ever imagined. This challenging phase is called the dip. This is also why I call this video the membership dip. It's where most people give up, thinking that resistance means failure, right? The resistance, that the challenges that now arise, you mean that you think that it means that you have done something wrong. It's not good enough. It's not the right membership. It's not how it's supposed to be. It should be growing faster. It's not the right offer, etc. No, it's very, very normal. And the value of persistence. So Godin emphasizes that the dip isn't a reason to quit, but a filter to weed out those without commitment. By pushing through the dip, you differentiate yourself and your product, and you set yourself up for significant rewards on the other side. Like, I hope that this is so visible for this, right? In this phase, I worked more than in this phase because I did all this groundwork. I did all this consistent showing up, overextending, serving, creating the solutions, creating the front end offers, being really, really, really consistent with my content and with my ads, and working on my messaging. I worked more here than here, right? But because I did that is why this was even possible. Knowing when to stick and when to quit. Not every challenge is worth overcoming. Part of the book is the wisdom of identifying dips versus dead ends. So for entrepreneurs and for you as a membership owner, it's vital to know when it's worth refining your product towards product to market fit and when it is just a real mismatch, right? So I also don't want this video to just be a Tony Robbins shouting at. I like Tony Robbins, nothing against him, but I don't want this to be a motivational speech. I want this to be really practical. If you have real doubt that this is going to be a scalable product, then we should talk about it, right? And you should, again, sit down and write down your doubts and where they're coming from, but don't let it be born from emotions, right? What are your doubts very specifically? Why do you think this is a dead end and not a dip? What arguments can you find for that? What arguments can you find against it? So really make an educated decision if you should choose to abandon the project, right? But don't abandon it just because it gets hard, because every project worth pursuing will get really, really hard, at least at one point, right? And this is the point where you are right now. Another book that I want to highlight here is The Obstacle is the Way by Ryan Holiday. So 3 highlights. The perception of challenges. Drawing from Stoic philosophy, Holiday argues that obstacles aren't inherently negative. It's our perception that labels them as a setback. By changing our perspectives, challenges can be viewed as opportunities for growth and innovation. So what I want to argue here is that the dip is exactly what you need to get so put into a corner that you're so consistent with your free content, with walking your talk, with serving people, that you have no other possible outcome than understanding what they actually need, how you need to talk about it, what problems they have, what problems you need to solve, and how, so that you get to a place of product to market fit with your membership. The dip is the hardest school, and it's the biggest opportunity towards creating product to market fit. Turning trials into triumphs. So throughout history, many successful individuals and entities have taken obstacles in their stride, using them as fuel for innovation, right? So if you say, I'm at this amazing point right now where I can work with few people really, really close to find something that others can't find because they're not exposing themselves to this testing environment, and they're not testing as deliberate as I do, and they're not serving and survey as deliberate as I do, that can be a real opportunity for you. The challenge startups face, especially in the achieving product to market fit, can be a catalyst for refinement and for excellence. The people who do this, who work deliberately through the dip, are the ones who have excellence with their memberships, right? One of my most loved example is my now business partner, Jessa Bellman. Her first membership was in that dip, and she realized that it's not the type of membership that people need, and instead of abandoning it, she refined it and she added another mini membership based on all the insight that she gained, and it took off like crazy from ads in the first week, from 0 to 120 members. So that working through what is working here, what is not working here, what do people actually want, what do I actually want to create, right? Working through this deliberately set her up for a membership that is insanely scalable with cold traffic, and is really the most successful membership that any of my students ever created, going from 0 to 4,000 members in 1 year straight, right? Action in adversity. So the book stresses that in face of obstacle, action is essential. Paralysis or pivoting without a clear strategy, again, I'm not against pivoting, I'm against pivoting without a clear strategy, can be detrimental. So for startups, for memberships, this underscores the importance of deliberate, informed action, right? Everything you need to do needs to be born from, you have sat down and you wrote down your thoughts. Why are we doing this? We have assessed that this is a good idea or a good hypothesis. How are we doing this? How are we measuring the success? And how do we optimize from the outcome? Because we need to stop thinking in outcomes as binary, in the sense of it's either a success or a failure. It is on a success and failure are on a scale, right? So it will be successful towards a certain extent, and only if you look and dissect into what was successful to what extent, you can make a next better hypothesis. If you don't do that, you're always just shooting for yes or no, and with that you can never gain real insight about a much better hypothesis, and testing much more deliberately, moving forward strategically faster. So to conclude, you are in this phase because you took action and identified an offer that at least a few people are willing to commit to and pay for on a monthly basis. Now you have the opportunity to refine your product and promote it to achieve product to market fit. You can accomplish this by surveying, and then scaling through new content in the form of front-end offers, continuous audience growth, nurturing emails, posts, and optimized launches. And this is how you get out on the other end. And everything you learn through this process will set you up for a unique, really big, really beautiful membership.